Hi folks, I was a child of the 70s. In the 70s, apparently there was a party game where you and your wife, because all couples were married in those days, apparently, would go along to a party and somebody put a bowl down, and the gentleman, because it was only gentlemen that drove cars, gentlemen would throw their car keys into the pot in the middle of the table. Somebody, the host or the hostess, would swivel them all round, and the ladies would each pick out a car key, and that would be the car that they were going home in, called wife swapping. Now, I like to think we're a little bit more civilized than the 2019s, but now I've started knife swapping. It's almost as personal and almost as difficult, but Paddy Potato Peelers sent me over a couple of his knives just to try out for a few days, and he did, one of which, funnily enough, was a Kaiser. It's not in this here. I sent it and the other one he sent me, the ATS knife, off to UK Legal Carry Knives, and I sent a couple of mine along with it, and he sent me a couple in return to do a review of. And the first one we're going to have a look at today came in this pouch, but it is the Lion Steel Best Man, and you'll see straight away it won't come as news to anybody. This is, as he throws his knives around, right there in my sort of style of everyday carry. I mean, I love my traditional case type knives and so forth, and I do quite often carry. I like my mini trapper with the bottle opener instead of a spay blade, for example. But these are, 3-inch. These 3-inch satin finish blades with titanium bolsters, carbon fibre, and polished crowned G10. This is nicely crowned. This is different. We'll come to that. It's not bad. It's just different. These other two obviously are bareheaded. This one has a cap. It looks more like another bolster to me, and we'll also come to that in a minute. Anyway, I like this knife. It fits right into my size category. There's no question about it being UK legal. Absolutely inside that 3-inch. Whichever way you measure it along the curve of the blade edge, you measure it the cutting edge in a straight line, you measure it from the bolster, whichever way you do it, it comes in under 3 inches. Handle length is just under the 4 inches. It's slim enough not to be obtrusive in your pocket, fat enough to have something to get hold of. Sounds like 1970s wife swapping again, doesn't it? Anyway, enough of that. It's a nice knife. They've taken an interesting style with it, rather than going for a hafted design where you make things oversized and then grind and polish them down till everything is beautifully even. They manufacture everything to a high tolerance with crowned finishes, nice little swedge there, and then they bolt it all together so that there's no need for hafting, but the crowning means that you're not going to get sort of small gaps or mismatches. It just sort of fits together. So it's a different style, not a bad style, not necessarily a better style, but a different style of doing it. It's the same style that say Rick Hindra uses. It's the same style as you would get with a same technique rather as you would get with a Benchmade. Everything's nicely machined individually, and then the parts are assembled, and there's no need for finishing. What I would say is slightly different is, unlike the Benchmade, the finishing of this is exemplary in most parts. I've got one small criticism. I might as well mention that while I'm here. The scales and to the bolsters are not quite as smooth as they could be. That I think is because you can take these off and swap them out. If they were made precisely for this knife, you wouldn't be able to do that. So it's it's a different way of doing things, and nothing else. It's not better, not worse, just different. So anyway, yeah, I like this knife. It's kind of won me over. The only thing that really does rankle with me is that it's not like a. Normally we call this a bolster and a cap, but this is two bolsters. There's no getting away from it. It's got two pivot pins, but there's no blade at that end. Now the reason for that is that they make a two-blade version. It's got the clip point and it's got a one clip at the other end, and makes it a bit fatter, obviously, because the two blades got to close next to each other. But I think it won't come as a surprise. I'm actually thinking quite seriously about buying one of these. But I think I'm going to go for one with the two blades, because it looks to me like that's the way it was designed to be, and that this is. It feels slightly incomplete to me, not quite whole, but I think that's just me. If you like it with a single blade, go for it with a single blade. They do one, and it's not called the Best Man. It's got a Warhorse, I think it's called, which has a clip blade and a one clip both at the same end, with a slightly longer bolster. So they call it a Barlow. It's questionable about whether it's actually genuinely a Barlow, but actually I probably prefer that design, but I don't think it's available in the UK at the moment. So I think I'll be getting one with it's an equal end, or it's not canoe design, because you don't have that, the way the bolsters are made, giving you that sort of cover for the end of the blade there. I don't have a canoe to hand. Ow. I'm determined to stab myself today. It's twice. I should really look at what I'm doing. The canoe uses this, if you think of that as half a canoe, it almost is. You've got the way the bolster goes up to cover the end of the tang of the knife. So it's not it's an equal end knife, the other one, but it's not a canoe. Anyway, I like this knife, and I'm very grateful to Alan for sending it over. I'll hang on to it for a day or two and just make me think about doing another video, just see how I get on, if I have any further thoughts on it. But if not, it's a lovely knife. I actually do recommend it, and I'm thinking very seriously about getting one for my own collection. I'll leave it at that. The last thing I will say is, though, I never ask people to sub or anything like that. I never ask people to leave comments or whatever, but somehow I've managed to get over 300 subs. I've no idea why, and over 60,000 views, which surprises me all round. I thought this was a very niche subject, but there we are. Some people seem to like something of what I do. If you do like it, please do sub. Please do leave a comment, and most of all, if you could tick the thumbs up box, that would be great. Thank you very much for watching. Bye bye, folks.